Back again. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you watch this video. Good morning is when I'm actually filming it, early Saturday morning here, as the sun starts to rise and it's going to be a nice day. Today we're going to be talking about what people think about you and maybe how you can get away from that. Obviously, one word or two words come in mind when you're thinking about that, where it's peer pressure. Obviously, one way or another, back in the days, I'm sure, or even now, or lately, even, all of us had to deal with peer pressure. We wanted to be the in crowd. We wanted people to think of us as high, as far as likable, as far as friendly. Some obviously people are supervisor, bosses, and all that stuff. So obviously, you have to separate work from friends, even though it could be very hard because it's a lot of times people, like especially in the military, you move up in rank and then you're supposed to, which is a hard thing to do, you're supposed to basically supervise your friend at work, and they need to know that there comes a time when at work it's work, and after work it's after work, which is very difficult at times for in basically every situation. Honestly, I mean, I had trouble doing that. There's times where it was possible, and there's times when it's not possible, and times when people take advantage of you because of you're their friend and don't do work up to par, and or take their time doing it or something because they think you'll give them the slack, and sometimes you do because they're your friends, while you harp on other people, which is wrong. I mean, it's not wrong to harp on other people, but it's wrong not to harp on your friends too, because they are your workers at the job, of course. So it's kind of a hard relationship to deal with. But we're going to talk about how other people think about you. That's going to be the next lesson I'm going to read from right now. When you begin to think less about what people think of you, that's when you'll be able to really think. Does your worry over what others think of you hinder your ability to think clearly and peacefully? Obviously, there's a lot of times when you think that, oh, this person's thinking of me this way and this way. Other people say, I don't give a care what they don't say it necessarily, but they think it in their minds. I don't give a care, but deep down in their heart, they probably do care to a small extent, at least. What other people think of them. They want their ideas, their personality, their creativity, their stuff to be accepted by others. Even sometimes people put on a face just to accept that fact. Sometimes people have to accept the fact because obviously you're the boss. You may make the final decision, but that goes without saying. If we measured how much of our thought life is caught up in what others think of us, we'd come up with a percentage. There's always a level of effort we put into climbing on the stage of life and performing to gain the approval of others. Sometimes it's a small amount, other times it consumes us and causes unnecessary relational strain. It's human nature to want to be valued, but when others' approval becomes a source of anxiety, insecurity, and self-focus, taking away precious mental energy, it's time to rethink the value of that attention. So rather than refining our performance in life and polishing the plastic, our time would be better spent refining the process of being fully ourselves, whatever that looks like. Well, that ties back into one of the other videos I did another time. Basically, when you're doing your interview, obviously you want to look your best, and you want to perform your best, especially if, you try to do your best on the first few days of work or ways, and then after that you might slack off a short way you dress or in your work practices stuff. But you want the boss to give you a raise, of course, so you want them to care about you. You want them to think highly of you, better of you, because all of us want to get, in all honesty, probably get paid a little bit more money here or there to meet our personal needs or necessary needs for that matter. So, obviously want people to think better of us. Sometimes we take our job practices at home, our job practices or how we work that day to our household, and it affects our family relationships, our friend relationships, all kinds of relationships, because we want to be accepted. We want people to give us that confidence saying, yes, you're better. Yes, you're good. You're all that stuff. Whatever that person said at work to you is not the truth. But yeah, you gotta take criticism for face value and go with it. And it could mean your job, could mean safety, could mean life or death for that matter. And it could be you could be better off in the long run with it. Take the risk and just be. Climb off the mental jungle gym of circumstantial acting and exercise the courage to just let your flow through. Although you may hit some snags, which you will, you'll be refining and polishing the truth, not a lie, performance, or a facade. You'll feel like you've lost a ton of emotional baggage. Your relationships will be more rewarding, and you'll discover a level of peace you may have thought was gone forever. When they say polishing, kind of comes to mind, think about it. You might have found something, a penny on the floor, nickel, dime, quarter, or you might have found something from the garage sale for those fixer-uppers, do-it-yourself thing people, and you want to make things look better. You want to make them polish them. You care about what it looks like to you or to others for that matter. Well, it's the same kind of concept and all that stuff, as far as what you think. But you got to take it with a grain of salt, because to be honest with you, not everybody's going to accept you for who you really are. They'll accept your work practices because obviously they have to a certain extent, because your work practices are what makes them money, how their company succeeds in life. I once pictured myself lying in my grave asking, was all the fear and distraction I experienced being wrapped in other person's perception of me worth it? And did it add value to my life? Did all the facades I presented to impress anyone or add value to anything? The answer was no, and I realized hindsight can be 20/20, even if imagined. 2020, the year 2020. Forget about what people think of you. Be fully yourself today and see how people respond. How much time do I spend making an impression versus making a difference? Will I take a week or so to test what it would be like to be completely me? It's kind of hard to do, to be completely you, obviously. People will learn you more and more as time goes by. Obviously, your family members, your friends, your personal friends, your YouTube friends know more about you than maybe you care for them to know about, or they know the real you, and all that stuff. But some people, you don't want to show the softer side of you or all of you, because obviously it could get you in trouble and all that stuff, in all honesty, in some cases, or it could get you fired, or who knows what could it do. But obviously be yourself. That's the thing that I want you to take away from this video. Be yourself. Because if you can't be yourself, then maybe it's time to move on to a different person, different friend, different job with a different boss. But, granted, I'm not saying move on right now to a different job, different boss, because especially with things going on these days, it's not always easy to find a job, and you have to work with what you have to be able to make it, to make a rent, get your food, get all the other stuff you need, necessities in life, not the wants, but the needs, to make you and your family members and your pets, for those of you who have pets as family members instead of kids, make it in life. So I wish everybody the best on this Saturday morning, and I'll see you this coming up Wednesday. Bye.